Today, I'm going to be giving you the new best settings to be using in Black Ops 6 right now. We're about 30 days out to the new season. I doubt anything will change, but for me personally, I've been playing a lot of Black Ops 6, Warzone, and Ranked. I tweaked my settings just a little bit, and these settings are perfect for whatever you're doing. Real quick, do yourself a favor. Click that thumbs up button for some good luck in your next game of either Black Ops 6 or Warzone, and make sure you guys subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss out on my future videos. With all that being said, man, let's get into the settings. We will be starting off with the controller settings, which in my opinion might be the most important ones. But real quick, I want to show you the controller I'm using because I get asked about it all the time. So we got a PlayStation 5 DualSense Edge. I've been using this for 2-3 months or something. Absolutely love it. It's probably my favorite controller I've ever used. I do have a purple Control Freak on it. It looks a little beat up and worn in. That's kind of how you want it. I am sponsored by these guys, so if you guys want to use my code FRIZZEYES, same as the YouTube channel name, you can save yourself some money. They last a very long time. Really nice. Just help you be precise and very accurate. So that purple stick is my aiming one. I don't have anything else on the running. What's really nice about this controller is the back of it here. So you guys can see, I got a little white stuff on it. Only reason it's white like that is because of this right here, Gamer Grip. My hands sweat really bad. I promise you. You think yours sweat bad? Mine are worse. So I apply this stuff, very little bit of it. Let me show you. Boom, like that. I get it off Amazon. Dude, I have it on right now. Like, you don't even see it on my hands. So I have it on right now. You just can't even see it. And it prevents your hands from sweating. Godsend. Absolutely love it. I don't work with these guys, but I would love to. Awesome stuff. Back to the controller. So on the back of it here, I have paddles. So every time you see me jump, I'm pressing this paddle. Every single time. I will never ever press X on the front of this controller. And then on the other side right here, we have my crouching, drop shotting, sliding button. So again, I will never press circle because I play default. I'll never press circle or X because I have these paddles. So I can keep that very nice, precise aim while doing all the movements in the back, which is really nice. And then also you can see these little levers right here. And essentially what this does is make my triggers really just digital tap. So this is as far as it goes, no joke. This is as far as it goes. I can't go any further because I have it on the most sensitive setting. So it's super responsive. So dude, this controller right here, absolute unit beast. I love it so much. It was pretty pricey, but it's damn sturdy, very durable, and it gets the job done. I know that was very long-winded, but again, I get asked about the controller all the time. So here are my controller settings. I do play on default for the button and stick layout. Again, I have those paddles in the back. That's why I thought it was really important to show you, because I do all the movements back there, so I don't change my stick layout. My sensitivity, horizontal and vertical, is a 1.70. I'm gonna be honest, in my opinion, there's no such thing as a perfect sensitivity. The perfect sensitivity is what you feel best at, whatever's not too fast or too slow for you. And for me, I think a 1.70 right in between. If you don't know where to start, try starting here, because again, this works perfect for me. I haven't changed it in a very long time. For the next few settings, these are all off. It is personal preference if you want to swap your triggers and bumpers. Again, really important that I showed you my controller because you saw how mouse clicky my triggers are. So that's why I have it off. And for me personally, I feel a lot more comfortable using the triggers rather than the bumpers. But if you don't have a fancy controller like this, maybe switch it, because those bumpers are a lot more responsive than default triggers. Controller vibration, please have this off. I know some people kind of like the feeling, or they know when they're firing their weapon, whatever it may be. Turn it off for a week when you're playing the game. You're gonna come back and thank me. It is messing up your accuracy and you just genuinely don't even know it. Trigger refract, this is super important. Turn this off. So this full haptics option is on by default, and it actually slows your triggers down so much more. It's really bad. Please turn this off. I don't know why this is a default option. Gotta have that off. Dead zones. I play on a 7 for the left and right minimum, very standard and normal. Left stick max, you can actually bring this down like all the way to 50. I haven't experimented with it, but I like it at 80. I feel comfortable at it, so that's why it's there. And what this allows me to do is sprint at full speed a lot quicker. Again, I could bring this down if I wanted to, but 80 just feels right. Right stick max is 100, very standard, nothing crazy. L2 and R2 button dead zones, make sure this is 0. there's anything over 0, you're gonna have a little bit of delay. Super dumb, so make sure that's off. Going over to the aiming controller settings, we have my sensitivity multipliers, which we'll get into a little bit further in, but this is all just kind of 1.0. ADS sensitivity multiplier focus, so this is for all like scopes and stuff. It's a 0.90. Again, we'll have a lot more in-depth look at that in a second here. Aim advanced settings, we go over to ADS sensitivity transition timing. Mine's instant, and this is what it's like in all other Call of Duty games that are not this one. Essentially what this does is instantly give you your ADS sensitivity multiplier when going from hip fire to ADS. So it's automatically applied. Some of the other options here are gradual, so it'll gradually give it to you, or after you're fully zoomed in. You want it instantly. The second you're ADS'd, you want to have your ADS sensitivity multiplier. That's super important in my personal opinion. Aim response curve type, dynamic 1.0. There's no argument to be made here. This is something that a lot of the pro players, the best players in the entire world, wanted to ban because of how broken aim assist is. So make sure you're on dynamic 1.0. Take full advantage of the broken aim assist since they're never going to nerf it. Here's my custom sensitivities per zoom now. So ADS sensitivity multiplier low zoom. This is red dots and iron sights. It's a 0.70. It's very slow because the second I lock on an enemy, the broken aim assist is just going to control the rest of it. It's literally like aimbot. I'm not even kidding you. And I love it this low because the second I land the first shot, the rest are going to land as well. I'm not going to be missing whatsoever. So the default to 1.0, bringing it down to this low is just going to help you be so much more accurate. And then, like I said, I've been playing a lot of Warzone where you're using these scopes that need to be zoomed in a lot more. And I previously was on a 0.90. That felt a little too slow. So now I'm at a 0.95, and this feels great because you're so zoomed in, you kind of want to drag it a little bit quicker, and that's why it's like that. So any high zoom, whether I'm sniping on Warzone or just using a scope, the 0.95 just works so damn well. So those are the aiming advanced settings. Next, target aim assist. I've had people actually say, Frizz, thanks for letting me know to turn target aim assist on. It was off. So make sure it's actually on so you can take advantage of the broken aim assist. For my movement settings, we have my sprint assist, tactical sprint assist. Make sure this has no delay. What? Dude, delays in Call of Duty are the worst things ever. Turn off any delay you see. So make sure it's 0. Tactical sprint assist. This is the option you want to have on because it'll allow you to sprint at your fullest speed a lot more quickly. And then I honestly love the omni movement. So having the sprint assist sideways and backwards, having this on is just nice. Helps you take advantage of the movement a little bit better. Mantle assist. Can't stand that stuff. Turn it off. Crouch assist. Turn that off as well. Corner slicing. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of when your weapon kind of hugs the corners and stuff. I like it. I like the way it feels. So that's why it's on. Maybe you don't even notice it. Slide and dive behavior. Listen, I'll be upfront and honest with you guys. I think hybrid is the best option. Being able to take advantage of both dolphin diving and sliding, it's a skill to learn for sure. Go ahead and do hybrid. I think that's the best option. For me personally, I don't be diving, and plus the hybrid option be throwing me off. Sometimes I accidentally dive when I don't want to, and I absolutely hate that because I think diving is incredibly situational. So I just stick to slide only. So anytime I just press my sliding button when I am running, I know I'm gonna slide and I won't dive. So that's why I plan only slide. Next, automatic airborne mantle. Have this off. I hate auto mantling. Slide maintain sprint. I have that on. And sprint and restore. So this just adds a little bit more fluidity to my movement. So if I just got done using some omni movement or sliding, I'm kind of right back into the motion, which is nice. It just automatically does it for you, which is nice. Parachute automatic behavior. So whenever I'm playing Warzone, I can get the closest to the ground on my own accord rather than it automatically pulling. And I really, really like that. So make sure your parachute automatic behavior is off. That just allows you to get to the ground quicker. Mantle cancels reload. I have this off. So when I'm mantling over something, I'm still reloading, which is really dope. Movement advanced settings. I don't really change anything here to my knowledge. Single tap run. Maybe that's the only thing you need to change, but everything else seems pretty default there. And we can go over to our combat settings. So I do have armor plate behaviors apply all. So whenever I hold triangle for just a short period of time, it'll apply all the plates that I'm missing. I don't need to hold down triangle to apply each individual plate. Again, something that saves you a little bit of time, and I accidentally just got out of my settings. Let's go back. Boom. Next, we have our combat advanced settings. Do I change anything in here? Tap to reload, interact/reload behavior. So anytime you want to reload, you just gotta tap your weapon to reload. Whenever I'm playing Warzone, I do prioritize interact, and this helps me spam loot so I could just kind of get things going a lot quicker. And then in order to reload, you can tap to reload, but it's going to prioritize whenever you're interacting with something. So you got to make sure nothing's around. If you want to reload when there's things on the ground, you have to hold it, which is completely okay. So again, depending on the mode you're playing, is what I do there. Yeah, I think that's actually it for the controller setting. Again, very straightforward. Not too much has changed. Oh, weapon mount activation. I have this off. I don't really see a reason to be mounting. Sometimes when I'm in serious gunfights, I accidentally mount on my own. So I have this off, so I don't have to worry about that whatsoever. So there you go. Those are all my controller settings. Not too much has changed, but yeah, make sure you have these all locked in. I almost forgot, I do want to give you guys the custom profile for my DualSense Edge. So I do play on PlayStation 5 to avoid shadow bans and cheaters in ranked play. Absolutely love it. I play on a PS5 Pro. So here is my custom profile thing for my controller specifically. I got asked about this a lot, so I want to cover it. Here's my button layout. I don't change any of this. Again, this is all default. You guys can see on the bottom right there, I showed you my controller earlier where I have one paddle that jumps and then the other one is circle, which is like my sliding or crouching drop shotting button. So you see that right there, boom. Stick sensitivity / dead zone. I don't really change any of this. Again, that's normal. Right is default. I haven't really experimented with this too much to change anything, so that's why it's normal. Trigger dead zones 0 to 100. Again, just really normal. I didn't change anything there. Vibration intensity, I absolutely hate vibration, so not only do I turn it off in game, but I also turn it off in these settings here. And then the trigger effect intensity, I have it strong. Again, this just makes my triggers so much more responsive. So I don't really change much in my settings here. I would have to experiment a lot more with it, but what I have now, it's working pretty well. I like it how it is, so I just want to throw this in here. Here is my custom, layout for the controller specifically. Now we're going to be moving on to my graphics settings. Again, I'm on PlayStation 5. There's nothing too crazy to look at here. I do plan 120 hertz. Again, I want to have the best quality I possibly can on the game. For my brightness, it's 55. I think I bumped it up just a little bit. I think the normal is just 50, but there you go. And then echo mode, that's off. For quality, this is super important. Make sure world and weapon motion blur are off. I'll remove the face cam for a second. And yeah, these are normally on. It doesn't make sense because why would you want blur on your game at all? It's kind of stupid. So yeah, make sure that's off. Your game's going to look a lot more smooth and feel a lot better. Depth of field, make sure that is off as well. I do have my fidelity cast on, and then the fidelity cast strength is at 85. Just makes my game look a lot more sharp and clean. And then details and textures, I have it on optimized, and then the allocated texture cache size is large. So again, just kind of making the game look nice and feel nice as well. Going over to the field or the view, sorry, my field of view. We'll get to that in a second right here. It is 115. I don't like 120. I like to bring it down just a little bit to 115. Especially for a multiplayer, I could probably bring this down to 110 and still feel absolutely incredible. Just helps you be a little bit more accurate and whatnot. I really like that. ADS field of view, make sure this is unaffected. It gives you kind of like a no recoil look to your game, and you'll notice that immediately. So probably you're on independent at default, so make sure that's unaffected. Motion reduction preset, I have that off. I have arachnophobia on because I think you're a lot more just prone to land your critical shots in zombies, so that's why I have it on that. It just makes it a little bit easier to land those headshots. Weapon field of view, mine's on wide, makes a weapon smaller on screen. I don't think I need my weapon super big on my screen. I like to see outside of it and see where enemies are at. That's why it's on wide. First person camera movement, make sure this is 50%, so your camera isn't shaking all over the place. And then I do have an inverted flashbang. You don't have to take a hard blink when you see the white on your screen, and I feel like it does reduce the effects as well when it goes black instead. It's definitely a lot more easier on your eyes, so make sure that is on as well. Very straightforward when it comes to the graphic settings. I think these are really important, so make sure you guys jot those down. Next, we have my audio settings. These are also very straightforward. This for me personally has worked very well, and outside of the game just being bad in terms of audio, this is as good as the audio settings can get. So my massive volume is 44. If it's anything over, it's just going to be too loud for me. Gameplay music, I do like hearing the main menu music. Maybe you could hear a little bit. It's at 8. I like to just slightly hear it. Cinematic music, this is when you're in the game. Music during cinematic scenes, even during the game or end zones in Warzone. I don't want to hear none of that, I ain't gonna lie. So I have it off. Dialogue, this is when like a UAV gets called in or any streak. That's important audio. You want to hear that very loud and clear. And the effects, this is gonna be in-game effects, like a nade being thrown or footstep audio, which is super important. Make sure this is 100. You want to hear that stuff. Enhanced headphone mode, I have that turned off. Audio mix, I like Sucker Punch. I've been playing on it the whole time. It is the tightest dynamic range. I really like it. I feel like I'm able to hear well. Mono audio, make sure this is off. If this is on, that means your left and right channels are gonna be merged together. It's gonna be hard to distinguish what's coming from your left or your right. Make sure this is off, and then that means it's separated. Music license, it doesn't really matter. I just have that off. Asymmetrical hearing compensation, I do have this on. I like this in combination with the Sucker Punch. It just feels really nice. Reduce the tinnitus sound. This is the ringing from concussions and flashes, you do want to have that reduced because that can be really annoying. My hit marker preset is just default. I really like how the default sound. And then this is just my voice chat. I talk through my controller because I don't have a proper mic for it. So yeah, there's nothing too crazy to go over there, but the audio settings are very straightforward and simple. And finally, we have my interface settings. So my menu prompts are obviously going to be controller because that's what I play on. Gameplay tips, tutorials, tool tips. I hate having extra stuff on my screen, so I just turn all this off so that's not on there. But important information like server latency, packet loss, or any sort of lag, that's all important. So make sure that's all on. I have the clock off. I don't really care what time it is when I'm in the middle of the game. Visual support presets is off. All subtitles off. I again hate all that stuff on my screen. Color customization. So I do get asked quite a bit about like why my game looks so vibrant, colorful, all that type of good stuff. I recommend copying these down here. So go to your color filter settings here. Excuse me. Color filter 2, color filter target both, and then make sure the world and interface color intensity are both 100. It's just gonna enhance the colors and make the colors look a lot more vibrant. I could show you before and after, but it doesn't do it justice through the video. I promise it'll look so much better you in person looking at your monitor, jotting these down. Very, very nice. Makes your game looks pretty. Gameplay HUD. So my safe area, I do like to bring all this in. And the reason I do that is because looking in the center of your screen is really, really important. So when my mini map is a little bit closer, or my ammo, my kill streak, when that's a little bit closer, I can quickly glance at that and then go right back to looking in the middle of my screen where the enemies are gonna show up. Because the further away it is, the further you need to look away to see the mini map or see your streaks and whatever, and then saves you a little bit of time. It's really, really nice. I just like it all kind of right there in the middle of my screen. Gameplay HUD presets, I just playing the standard one. If you want to mess around with it, you can. I just prefer standard. Mini map shape, I have it on square. So they did change this where you can actually change where your mini map is and how it looks in both multiplayer and zombies. So that's why it says slash right there. Before that was never there. But you could clearly see a lot more out of the mini map when it's square. You get more information out of it. The mini map is so goddamn important. So make sure that's square. Mini map rotation, I have it on. Radar, make sure this is off. It'll literally turn your mini map into like a weird, like a literal radar from back in the day. It's so dumb. Compass, I have this off. I just don't use the compass. You've heard me say it multiple. Wait, where was I right there? What the, compass type. Yeah, make sure this is off. I clicked the wrong button. I don't use the compass. Again, I just don't like nonsense on the screen. Turn it off. In-game text chat, love having that on. I love what they're saying about me. I got the players' names abbreviated. Kill feed duration is just normal. You can actually make it a little bit longer if you'd like. That's actually really cool. Crosshair, so that is a new setting right there, by the way. So super sick. Crosshairs, this is super important. Going back to centering, man, that white dot in the middle of the screen, man, you got to point that where you think enemies are going to be at. Centering is so important, so make sure this is on. The crosshair, you want that on. Turn that dot, make it the largest, man, so it's right in front of your face. Crosshair spread is on. Feel free to even change the color. Make sure the intensity or the opacity is 100 so you can actually see it. So important, man. People don't talk about centering enough. Hit marker visuals is on. Damage is on. All this widget visibility is also just cranked out at 100. And last but certainly not least, it took me a second to find it, but go back to multiplayer HUD presets. I wanted to save this for the last thing I wanted to do here. So go ahead and click on multiplayer HUD presets. It took me a second to find it, I ain't gonna lie. And then go over to visuals. So what I do here is I scale my mini map to be bigger. So I think the default's just 100. I cranked it up by 20. And then the icon scale, which is your icon or like the harp or UAV icons, I bumped those up. Your mini map is so goddamn important. When I do this, I'm looking at my mini map right now. I'm looking right at my mini map. This is where my mini map would be right now. I'm looking at it. Back to the center of my screen. Mini map. I'm always looking at it. It gives you so much information on where enemies are at. Make that John bigger. All right, so make that mini map bigger. Make those icons bigger so it's in your face. I could go ahead and make that mini map even larger if I wanted to, but dude, it is so important. It took me a minute to find the settings. It's been in the game forever and I just didn't know about it. Make that mini map bigger. Look at that mini map, bro. It shows you where everything is at. But that is gonna wrap up the settings. I know this is probably like very long-winded in a long settings video, but I wanted to make sure I covered everything because I get asked about them all the time. You saw my controller. You saw the PlayStation in-game settings on it. You saw it all, man. If you guys have any comments about what I went over, leave them down below. I'll try my best to respond to you all, but that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. You guys all stay safe. Have a great day, and I'm out. Adoses.